Hi class, how are you today? Well, I guess that's okay. The learning target for today is to solve for missing measures in special right triangles. Now there are two types of right triangles that we call special right triangles. Let's get started. So the first special right triangle is what we call a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So we've got one angle that's 30 degrees, one that's 60 degrees, and then one that is 90 degrees, the right angle. And so we've got three parts of the right triangle. We have the short leg, we have the long leg, and we have the hypotenuse. So remember, the two legs are the ones that are touching the right angle, and the hypotenuse is the one across from the right angle. So in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, the measurements of the short leg, long leg, and hypotenuse are all related to each other. So let's say that the short leg is x. And so there's two things to deal with that. If we know what the short leg is, we can find out what the hypotenuse and the long leg are. So the hypotenuse is going to be double the short leg, 2 times x. Now the long leg is a little bit less nice. The long leg is going to be the short leg times the square root of 3. So make sure you have this written down because you want to refer back to this a lot. So we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle here. And let's say the short leg is 5. By the way, we know it's the short leg because it's the one across from the 30-degree angle. The long leg is the one across from the 60-degree angle. And the hypotenuse is the one across from the 90-degree angle. So, if the short leg is 5, the hypotenuse is going to be double that, 10. And then the long leg is going to be the short leg times the square root of 3. So 5 times the square root of 3. Easy enough, right? Let's say we have another 30, 60, 90 triangle, but this time I give you the measurement of the hypotenuse. In that case, it's going to be 12. So the hypotenuse is 12. Then we have to get back to the short leg before we can do anything else. Everything revolves around the short leg. So from the hypotenuse to the short leg is how we have to go. So from the short leg to the hypotenuse, you doubled it. You multiplied by 2. So to get from the hypotenuse to the short leg, you have to do the opposite. So you have to divide by 2. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. And then to get to the long leg, you multiply the short leg by the square root of 3. So 6 square root of 3. Now we have one more 30, 60, 90 triangle, and I say the long leg is 7. So again, everything revolves around the short leg. So we have to go from the long leg to the short leg. To get from the short leg to the long leg, we multiplied by the square root of 3. So to get from the long leg to the short leg, we have to divide by the square root of 3. So we have 7, and we want to divide by the square root of 3. So, if you remember how to rationalize the denominator, multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 3, and that will give you 7 square root of 3 over square root of 9, or just 3. So that's what the bottom leg, the short leg, is going to be. 7 square root of 3 over 3. Not very nice, but that's what it is. Now, to get from the short leg to the hypotenuse, we multiply by 2. It's not that bad. It's just multiplying by 2, so you multiply the top by 2. So it becomes 14 square root of 3 over 3. All we did was multiply the 7 by 2, and that's all you have to do. So that's it for 30, 60, 90 triangles. Let's jump to the other kind of special right triangle. Alright, so the next kind of special right triangle is called a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Two of the angles are 45 and the other is 90. So the thing is, if the two angles are the same, remember that the two sides are also the same. So this is what's called an isosceles right triangle. So since it's an isosceles triangle, these two sides are the same. So there's no long leg or short leg in this one, they're just legs. And this is still the hypotenuse. So in the first one, everything revolved around the short leg. In this one, everything revolves around the legs. So if we call the leg x, the other leg, since they're the same, is also going to be x. The hypotenuse, however, is going to be x times the square root of 2. This one's a bit easier than the 30, 60, 90. Here we have 8 as the leg, so the other leg is also going to be 8. And the hypotenuse is going to be 8 times the square root of 2. Again, easy enough. Now we have another 45, 45, 90 triangle. And I'm saying the hypotenuse is 9. So, to get from the leg to the hypotenuse, we multiplied by the square root of 2. To get from the hypotenuse to the leg, we have to divide by the square root of 2. So we say 9 divided by the square root of 2. So multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 2. And that will give you 9 square root of 2 over square root of 4, or 2. So 9 square root of 2 over 2, and same for the other leg. 9 square root of 2 over 2. Alright, that's it for this lesson. Once again, please make sure you take notes on the entire lesson, and right now, take a picture of your notes, submit them to eBackpack. Don't wait, do it right now. Right now! Have a good night.